Hello, welcome everyone. My name is Isadora. I am the program manager at Amsterdam Tech, and I'll be hosting today's Q&A. Today we're hosting the TechMinds series webinar, and our guest is Amir Azimi. He has worked as a recruiter for 10 plus years and is here to share some tips with us. So welcome.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to everyone watching.
Thank you. Okay, so we've prepared some questions to ask Amir. So I will just ask the first one right away. So, from
Excellent.
your experience as an in-house recruiter, what do you think has changed over the last few years in hiring, especially for like junior and early career candidates?
Very good question. So it's always challenging to see, okay, what is changing and what is actually a development of the latest years. But what I am definitely seeing is that there is a stronger focus on soft skills. So in addition to, what you've learned in terms of the hard skills and you've been working hard at learning, it has become much more important as well to communicate well, be adaptable to changes. This certainly adaptability is something that is much appreciated at this moment because there is a strong and fast innovation and development, which means that you need to keep yourself up to date, adapt to new changes, and that makes it important to have those soft skills as well as the hard skills that you have. So even at the junior level, they are already looking at communication skills and adaptability, things like that as well. For me, I think that's the biggest change that I've seen.
Yeah. And how do you think like people can show soft skills if not in an interview, because in an interview you can show your soft skills, but in the first phase, like sending a curriculum or something, like how do you show
Very
that?
good, very good. Well, the communication starts with how you present yourself, your CV, your application letter. There you can stand out. What I see, for example, these days is a lot of people, and this can work as well. Take the job description that they are applying for and take their CV and feed it to ChatGPT and ask it to write an application letter. It is quite visible. There is also a certain tone of voice that ChatGPT has that is recognizable. So I don't get a feeling about the person that I am speaking to. But when they
Yeah.
do take the effort to communicate their intentions well, that shows good communication skills. Especially in the interview rounds, the communication skills play an important role. Listen well, ask questions, answer concise and to the point, make your examples that you give as concrete as possible, but also don't be afraid to be vulnerable and admit if you don't know something or
Yeah.
you don't have the answer to a certain question, or if you, let's say for example, if they come up with a better idea than you just presented, accept that, hey, I'm looking at it now with knowing that other possibility that it's also good, or let's say better than my answer originally. So showing that you are adaptable to better ideas as well. So
Yeah.
there are ways during the process outside of your CV to show your soft skills as well.
Yeah. And then talking about CVs, like when you review the applications for the roles, like what do you think makes a candidate stand out beyond their CV, especially when they don't have a lot of experience?
Yeah, and then again, those soft skills come to play. Now, I do understand that it's challenging finding as a junior person new
Yeah.
in the job market, finding positions, and at a certain moment, applying for jobs can also be very frustrating if you're not getting the response. So I see a lot of people desperately sending CVs to all the all the possible positions that they can, and you notice that as well because they're not putting any extra effort in their application. But putting the extra effort in your application by writing a good motivation letter or application letter, focusing on your skills and soft skills, can definitely make a difference. So I'm always looking for who's making the effort, who is showing themselves the most. And it's not only the experience that you have, work and educational background, but also what do you do in your free time. You can also tell a little bit about yourself, that what are the things that you enjoy doing, and how you keep yourself entertained. It could be anything, but just showing a little bit more of yourself and putting a little bit more effort in your application can make a difference. For me,
Yeah.
certainly, if I'm hiring for junior roles, I'm definitely looking at also their application letter closely to see what are they telling about themselves that could be of added value, and how much effort have they put in that, and effort and thoughts have they put in the application.
Yeah, so that cover letter is very important as well. And also
Yeah,
there is where you can put like, I don't know, your hobbies and who you are as the person that is difficult to put in your CV, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Personally, I work in environments where we are very driven and ambitious. So you want to get that feeling from the person as well. So when they show, for example, that they have played hockey on a high level, or they did swimming at a high level, competitive ness. I think,
Of
okay, that
course. Yeah.
shows that this person, if they have, let's say, competed in a certain sport or hobby, knows that in addition to having talent for something, you need to work hard at it as
Yeah.
well. Showing your grades could also help if your grades are really good, but just showing that you're not just a person with a certain talent or someone to just try, to understand that a combination of both is needed to achieve things.
Yeah.
So sometimes, yeah, those things that you think that are not that significant could be significant
Yeah.
there as
Depending on the
well.
job and yeah, I
Exactly.
agree.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I agree. And then what you think are the most common mistakes that students or early career professionals make during this application on an interview process? So like what not to do, I guess.
Yeah. So the biggest one that I see is, I speak to a lot of junior people, is that the energy that they bring, for example, to an interview.
Okay.
I do understand that everybody is a bit nervous. I try to Recruiters generally try to make them feel at ease first and to get into things as well. But some of them, bring positive energy to the conversation, and others are just sitting there and waiting for the question to answer. And then when I ask them, do you have any questions, and they're like, no, you are very clear. Of course, I'm trying to be clear, but it's, if if you are really interested about the
Yeah.
role, you should have questions. And if you think, okay, I've already looked at all the website and all their social media and LinkedIn and everything about the company, I know a lot about the company, it's still good to give some questions. And even if it is just the person itself, and if I'm, let's say, if you were interviewing me, Isadora, I would say, hey, Isadora, you're working there for a while. What do you like about working there, and what are
Yeah.
the challenges the company facing at the moment? I know nothing about the company, or I didn't ever have to research that, but it's just a simple question about, hey, about yourself.
Yeah.
Also, really good to ask the person that you're talking to what their experience is, how they find it, what do they like about the company that they're working, what don't they like about the company they're working. It shows interest in you, and if an interviewer has to talk about themselves, they usually feel good about it
Yeah.
afterwards. Especially if you ask them, "What do you like about your work?" They will
Yeah.
talk with enthusiasm and energy about, "Yeah, we at us we do this and we do that," and they get excited. And then the interview is finished, and they are still in that positive, excited
Yeah.
state, and they're like, "That was a good conversation. I don't know exactly what it was, but let's move forward." So that is one of the things that I sometimes think, on paper candidate is excellent, and then I'm talking to them, I'm getting nothing back.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I think is easily fixed
Yeah.
by a
And
little
I
bit of
think
preparation.
People also forget, like in the interview, that you also want to know about the company, and the company is also trying to sell the role to you. So it's not just
Yeah,
like you're trying so hard; they're also trying. So you kind of have to meet in the middle.
exactly, exactly. And it's also selling yourself, because showing
Yeah.
interest, showing that there are things that motivate you. For example, is a, hey, um, I want to do well. So if I get the job, how do you measure how well I'm doing? So that
Yeah.
shows motivation from you, that you really want to do well, and you want to know already what is the level that I need to, what do I need to do to prove that I'm good at what I do.
Yeah.
And those type of questions, yeah, make a difference, shows certain qualities that junior people often don't know because they are not trained in it. Hopefully they're listening now and they're like thinking, "Yeah,
Yeah.
good, I'm going to ask good questions," and that can help them make a difference in a conversation with, equals, being in the
Yeah.
as competitors.
Yeah, that's a good tip. And then I think for my last question, if a student came up to you and said, like, I want a really good job within tech in like 6 months, what is your like step to step advice kind of?
Very good question. So one of the things that I think is important is already thinking about, okay, what do I want? What type of environment or company or product do I want to work on? Um, because then you can focus on the companies that you're interested in, and not so much just applying for jobs.
Mhm.
Because once you know, okay, these type of companies I'm interested in, then I'm going to look if they have a vacancy. If they don't, you still can start building a rapport with that company, because that's a company you are genuinely interested in. So what I generally think you should do is, for example, if they don't have an open position, you can always send in an open application, or if they do have a position, apply. Now, as I said as well, showing your skills and showing your interest, motivation can be important. So instead of just sending your CV and writing a generic application that you can send to every company, look at the company website on their LinkedIn and what they are posting, especially also the hiring managers, for example, what's going on, so that you can show in your application as well that you know what's going on, and what is it about them that you want to work for them. You like their products, saying, hey, I use that product every day, I think it's an excellent product, I would love to contribute to making it even better. And mentioning that, and as well say, hey, I saw that you are working on this at the moment, and this is happening at the moment, and this is actually, I think, really motivates me to want to work for you. So
Mhm.
showing that you're that you genuinely are interested in them can make a difference. If
Yeah.
somebody writes that, I wouldn't probably even look at their CV and just say, okay, let's have a conversation. Because if it's not the perfect role, there might be another role, and you seem to be very motivated in that sense. So in the beginning stage is be selective with what you apply for, or when you do apply for it, put all your energy into it. So take it really serious and go the extra mile. Um, uh, and that can make a large difference, because 99% of the applications that we give you
Mhm.
definitely people that clicked on the apply and uploaded their CV and not much else.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if you send a message on LinkedIn to the hiring manager as well, you're showing like interests and all of
Yeah,
that. So it's
that is
also
also a good point as well. So do that, but don't do it in a way of, hey, I'm interested in working with you, I saw your application, can we discuss it? Because yeah, if your application is done right, you're going to discuss it eventually. But
yeah.
you know give them something to think about. So say, hey, I just applied to a role that you have in your team. One of the reasons is because I saw your profile and I really like, and I see that you are, for example, posted this about AI, and I'm also interested in that, and I'm also developing myself in that. So I would think that would be a great environment, and we have something in common in that sense.
Yeah.
So I give them another reason do that. And
Add some value
everybody,
to the message, right?
exactly. Just show a little bit of yourself. Don't expect, because everybody is busy, so they might not have time to, have a, let's say, a general chat with you.
Mhm.
um, but you can motivate them to send that message to their recruiter and say, hey, if this person's application come in, let me know.
Yeah.
Even better, once you build a rapport with a hiring manager, instead of, once they start to like you when they don't have a vacancy, when they do have a vacancy, they say, hey, I remember this guy that I was in contact with. um, uh, uh, what was his name again? Look in their messages. Say, okay, send it to recruiter. Say, hey, I have the role available, but you don't need to search because I know this guy is the perfect one for it.
Yeah.
So you are kind
Mhm.
of get an advantage in that sense as well.
Perfect. Yeah, these are perfect tips. I think that's it for my questions for now. I don't know if you want to add anything else that I missed.
No, generally I would say, yeah, don't frustrate yourself. So be selective in what you apply for, but when you do, put your energy in there. Um, uh, um, if you like to do it structurally, like I like, I would create an Excel sheet with the company, with the steps that you've been taking. In that way, it looks also that you're making headway. And as soon as that day you're getting frustrated, stop that day, go do something enjoyable, get back to it whenever you're in a good mood, because
Perfect.
you need to be in the right mood to do it as well.
Yeah, perfect. That's
All
it.
right.
Thank you so much. I think the tips were very valuable and helpful, especially for students and early career candidates. I think it will help them a lot.
Yeah, and read about also advice online, but do not accept all advices, because sometimes they're also too generic and
Yeah,
everybody is listening to it. So there are recruiters that say, yes, take the job description, take your CV, give it to AI, and ask it to write the application letter. Most good recruiters are not going to fall for that and
yeah,
will not see that as really the extra effort they're looking for.
exactly.
Yeah.
Great.
All
Thank
right.
you. Thank
You're
you
very
so much,
welcome.
Amir.
Have a nice day.
Thank
Good luck,
you.
everyone, with their
Have a nice
applications.
day. Thank
Cheers.
you. Good
Bye.
luck, everyone. Bye.